My name is Ashley Powdar. Welcome to the November 12th AARP Employer Pledge onboarding call, and congratulations on being accepted into the program. We are going to get started in just a minute, and I will hand it off to my colleague Heather Tinsley-Fix to get us started. I see some people are still connecting to audio. All right, I think we are all set.
Okay.
Heather, over to you.
Great. Well, thank you all for joining. I'm so glad that you have signed the pledge and that you are a promoter of the value of older workers. Ashley, can I forward the slides or do you do that? Yeah. Okay, great. So the AARP Employer Pledge Program is a nationwide group of employers that stand with us in affirming the value of experienced workers. We also really believe that strongly believe that all ages matter in the workforce. So from the youngest to the oldest of us, really age diversity is a great advantage for companies if you know how to leverage it and have resources for managing it well. So that's important to note. We really talk a lot about the value of older workers specifically, but we also situate that within the value of an age diverse, a multi-generational workforce. So the Employer Pledge was started in 2012. Ashley, could you go to the next slide? Oh, I can do it too. Okay, see.
I can just Heather 1 second. Let me give you access again.
Okay, all right. Great.
There you go.
So there we go. So I'm cooking now. Okay, great. The Employer Pledge Program started in 2012. We've had tremendous growth rate over the last number of years due to just a strong interest in DEI. Those winds are changing a little bit, which we understand, but we still think that a multi-generational workforce is an advantage for companies. Over the course of the 13 years or so, we've had over 3,000 employers sign the pledge in all of our states. And the combined sort of effect of, or the combined impact of all of those 3,000 employers is almost 10 million employees. So it's a great program. You're in good company. There's a lot of companies that are part of the program. In terms of benefits, there's a lot of benefits to joining the program. We have a seal that you can use on your recruiting materials, although that's changing a little bit, and I'll talk about that in a second. But we also we host quarterly events. Oh, there we go. Great. We host quarterly events for pledge signers where we bring experts in to talk about topics as varied as AI, to the difference between older and younger brains, to how to leverage how to deal with multi-generational differences in the workforce, to labor insights. So we try and bring the best of AARP research and other experts to our pledge members. We have a great action plan and tool that I'll talk about in a second that helps you take the guesswork out of getting started with building an age-inclusive workforce. And then we also are often, I would say about once every other month, we're contacted by major news outlets asking about pledge companies and can they talk to anybody who signed the pledge. And so we offer that up also as well to shine a spotlight on what you guys are doing to attract and retain and hire older workers, as well as just build a multi-generational workforce where everyone's included. There's also opportunities for networking we have an annual employer summit, which we hold in person here in our Washington, DC headquarters. So lots of benefits to joining the program. I also want to mention that having said all of this great stuff, we are about to move to a new evolution of the program, which we are calling the AARP Employer Alliance. So what we've had, the pledge has been around for a while, since 2012, and we have largely been focused on growth and on broadcasting. So kind of a one-way kind of us to you kind of engagement. And we would like to expand the impact and help drive employers to taking actions through this newly imagined version of the pledge, which we're calling the Alliance. So the Alliance is not changing in terms of the pledge. It's not really changing in its initial objectives, which is we want to help companies attract, retain, and support workers over 50. We also want to help them unlock the full value of a multi-generational workforce. We want to provide a community where companies can not only come together to learn from us or other experts, but to learn from each other and to share resources and help each other solve challenges. So the Employer Alliance will have 2 tiers. The first tier is commit to learning and join the conversation. And this tier is really for those who are just getting started or want to get to know what this is all about, or want to meet, and network with other pledge signers and sort of consume resources in a more of a one-directional way. And so that the tier is designed for that. We'll have a monthly newsletter in our meetings and access to workshops on specific topics. We're excited about that because that's a little more hands-on. Tier 2 is really committing to action, so actually taking an action. So this is for companies who are actively practicing or want to start implementing policies that create an inclusive multi-generational workforce. And so joining this tier requires a commitment to take at least one action in the year. And in sort of response to that, we expect this tier to be a bit smaller than the tier 1, but the additional benefits to joining this tier include access to working groups and one-on-one coaching to help support those changes. And I mentioned the annual in-person summit, so that's a benefit from joining this tier, as well as recognition from us. So we would love to provide even more than just reactively responding to media requests. We'd love to proactively shine a spotlight on what you all are doing. So tier 2 is, as you can see, is a lot more commitment, or not a lot more commitment necessarily, but just more engagement with us in a two-way, bi-directional way. And all of the companies who have signed the pledge, which includes you all on the call, are kind of just naturally grandfathered into tier 1. We're launching this in January. But you can join tier 2 if you like. We would be thrilled to have you join tier 2. So having said all that, it's going to make some sort of practical downstream effects are going to be that our media kit and the use of the seal, which we've had for so long now, which we love, will need to get updated. So I just want to mention that because I'm going to now talk about, well, first I'm going to talk a little bit about our resources, but I'll talk about the media kit and how currently it's all still engineered towards the pledge. Okay. So we mentioned, and I know Ashley mentioned this, I think in the invitation emails, that we have an age inclusion checklist. We do have this checklist. It's just like a 2-page quick summary of all the different actions you can take to attract, retain, recruit, leverage an older demographic, but also a multi-generational workforce. However, we also last year decided to turn this more static checklist into an interactive tool. And so I'm going to talk about that first, because we really love how the tool takes you through a very quick assessment and then helps you create a customized plan of 3 actions you can take right now where you should focus your efforts in the short term. With each of the actions that we suggest you take after you've gone through that assessment, we provide a resource, either a worksheet or an in-depth guide to help you execute each action. And
Heather, if I could just pause you just
Yes.
for 2 seconds, we have some more people in the waiting room, and you have control if you just want to let them in real quick.
Great. So as I was saying, this is a bit newer resource. We launched it last year, and in some cases, the actions that we suggest include the possibility of having us come in to do a training for your team. We have 2 trainings available, one for recruitment, talent acquisition teams and hiring managers, and then one for managing mixed age teams. So those are free. There's no cost to those. They're virtual, but there's no cost. They're live instructor-led trainings. So wanted to mention those as well. Okay. This is the age inclusion checklist that I mentioned that was the inspiration for the more interactive tool, but it's also handy just to have, you know, a printable PDF that you can download and print out and just have a quick overview without going through a tool. So we do still have the checklist. I mentioned, sorry, Ashley, it just seems to be a bit slower on my laptop. I'm trying to go to the next slide.
Oh, good. Happy to control the slides again if you'd like.
Yeah.
Did we let everyone in from the waiting room?
Let me control them 1 second, Heather.
Sure.
All right, good to go.
Okay. Welcome, everyone who has just joined us. We are walking through some slides and we're going to open up for questions soon. So feel free to come off mute at any time, raise your hand and ask questions. All of the resources that I mentioned that we have can be found on our Employer Resource Center, and the URL is there for you. We also just launched an interactive guide to hiring a multi-generational workforce, which we're excited about because it has a couple of tools. They're we call them kind of mini tools. One of them is a benefits analyzer. So you can take the benefits from your job descriptions and paste them into this tool and see kind of get a score, an age inclusion score. But it's really an analysis of like what benefits do you have that you can really promote to attract older candidates, and what benefits might you consider in the future. So we like that one, and then there's a bias interrupter flip card deck, which is kind of fun. So I recommend that. You can find it right on the homepage, and that was just launched in October. Okay, next slide, Ashley. So as I mentioned, there is a media kit which is currently available for pledge members, for AARP Employer Pledge members. It includes this pledge signer seal, which I mentioned earlier in the conversation, sample social media posts and copy for your newsletter, anything like that. We do also offer a Swiss cheese press release, although I think you have to actually contact us to get it. We don't have a way of gating that, so we just want to make sure that if you want to put out a press release, we're happy to work with you on that. And all of this will start to change now that we are moving towards the AARP Employer Alliance in January. So I just wanted to note that we're happy for you to use the seal until then, but you may want to wait until we launch our new media kit for the Alliance to take advantage of all these different ways to communicate your participation in the program. Next slide. Here are just a couple of examples of when we've had news outlets contact us and we put them in touch with Employer Pledge companies to appear in their articles, or in one case, we had one of the YMCAs that signed the pledge was featured in a local news story. So there's lots of ways that we can provide that visibility. Next slide, please. And I mentioned that we have quarterly calls. So the last one of the year is coming up next month on December 17th. And we're looking for speakers. We're thinking about inviting a speaker on the role of HI in AI adoption across the enterprise. So I'm not sure yet if he'll agree, but as I said, we use these calls to feature experts on various topics that are of interest to pledge members. So put that in your calendar, and also Ashley will send invites out to that as well. I wanted to mention really quickly, I'm going to just zoom through the next few slides, a couple of additional employer resources. We do have a strong focus on supporting caregivers in the workforce. It's really important to AARP that family caregivers are supported. We know that the number of people who are called on to provide care to older relatives or friends is growing and only going to grow given just the natural demographics of the US. So we have a couple of resources for employers. We have a series of workshops. Again, these are free and live and instructor led. And we have a caregiving toolkit for employers. And those are all, you can find all of those again on the Employer Resource Center. Next slide. We also have a lot of resources for the caregivers themselves, which you can make available to them if you feel like that's something you want to put in your, on your intranets, infonets. So we just have a lot of great tools for caregivers themselves, and including we have a hotline that they can call. We have a community they can join. There's ways to share their stories. So we'll send these, I can't remember if we send the whole deck, but we can do that. We will definitely send you these links though to provide to your caregivers in your various companies. Next slide, please. And lastly, we do have a special membership offer for EPP members. So this is not, this would just be a discount that you would make your employees aware of if that was something you wanted to do. It's the lowest rate we have on AARP membership, and it's only for the employees and retirees of employer pledge members. So there's information there, and again, we'll provide you with this information. If you're interested, you can contact my colleagues in membership to get collateral you can use to promote that. Okay, so that's really it. Now, I want to definitely make open the floor for questions, and also if anyone feels like they would like to come off mute and talk about why you joined the pledge, what you're looking for from the pledge, we would really love to hear that.
We also have a poll that we launch with each onboarding call while you're getting your questions organized. I can go ahead and launch that for you if you would not mind just letting us know the demographic breakdown of your workforce. Excellent, thank you.
I'm not sure if this is of interest to anyone, but I just had a conversation with a colleague about ways we could connect employers to older workers looking for jobs. We used to have a job board, but we don't have that possibility anymore. Or we do, I mean, you can post on Indeed. We have a collaboration with them, but if anyone is interested in possibly getting in front of older job seekers, and in a much smaller list, please let me know. AARP has a foundation, and they have a program helping people get back into the workforce. As we know, older workers tend to experience much longer periods of unemployment if they have to leave the workforce for any reason, or there are reductions in force and so on. And so the AARP Foundation has resources for and coaching and help to get them, get their resumes written and get interview skills polished and so on. And it would be great to feature employers who are looking to hire older workers to the people who go through this program. So if that's of interest, please let me know. It's just a germ of a conversation at this point, but I know that a lot of times companies sign the pledge because they do want to hire older workers, which we love and support, and want to support any way we can. So thank you all so much.
Heather, there's a question in the chat, how to
okay.
get more information on the Indeed relationship.
Yes, so the Indeed collaboration is largely one of mutually kind of promoting the value of older workers. We promote their Indeed's resources, again, on things like resume prep and interview prep and stuff like that, to our membership and beyond. And then we also Indeed sort of cross promotes then a lot of our resources that we provide to consumers and job seekers on those topics, but also on things like, again, caregiving, paying attention to fraud in the workspace or in the job market. And so at the moment, it's more of a kind of a marketing presence together and putting our two brands together to promote the value of older workers. We don't have a dedicated job board with them. So we used to have a dedicated job board that was powered by a vendor, and we white labeled it. with Indeed, we don't have a job board that's just for, just for older job seekers or just for employers looking for older job seekers, which was something that was, I feel like, a loss to my program, to this program. But again, that's why I'm looking for other creative ways to get employers in front of job seekers. It's what we've always struggled with is how to scale that, but in the absence of our dedicated job board with Indeed, I'm definitely looking for ways to do that even at a smaller scale. So, and so, yes, John, I would be happy to include you in that list of folks that would be interested in that. And I would love to talk to your Young Rembrandt's corporate too. So we'll reach out about that. So thank you all so much. I am available. I'm going to put my email in the chat. There's also employer pledge at AARP.org as well. And Susan, my colleague who's on the call, answers or manages that. And then Ashley, of course, is a resource as well. She'll mostly forward stuff to us, but Ashley helps us organize all of our events. So she's the go-to person for events. Thank you all so much for attending the call. Reach out to us with questions. We will send out all the resources that we mentioned in a follow-up note. And I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Thanks for signing the pledge and for promoting older workers.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you all for joining. This officially marks the end of our November 12th onboarding call. Have a great afternoon.